My name is Lap Van Lu, and I'm with Magnopus. I'm the CTO.
And what are you guys showing off here at OC4?
So we actually have 5 different experiences that is being announced at OC4. We actually have the most experience announced at the keynote. So Blade Runner is the one that's behind me. That will be it was recently announced, and that's going to be released on the Rift and Gear VR. Magnopus is also working on Coco VR, which is being released on November 15th, and that will be also for Rift and Gear. And the other piece that's out that isn't announced is actually for Mission ISS, which is the piece that we're currently known for that was Emmy nominated, and that is being released for the Gear VR, which you could also try out here at the show.
And with Blade Runner and Coco, you're working with entertainment properties. Can you talk about getting how you guys work to get the licenses and the kind of effort it has been to work with the producers on these new IPs?
Yeah, absolutely. So Magnopus's background 4 years ago was started by people that came from the visual effects profession. So after about working in visual effects for about 20 years, we won a lot of different accolades, Emmys, Oscars, every award you could think of, and we decided to go towards a new a new avenue that was a little bit more challenging. So we ended up settling in the world of VR and AR, and because of that, we also carried over a lot of the past relationships dealing with a lot of different type of production company, and that being with Disney, and in this particular case with Alcon, which is for Blade Runner. And we're used to working with being on production and on set and the film world of how we could take and keep the fidelity of what comes in feature films to be translated into a VR experience. And that's what Magnopus is known for, is creating these compelling stories and experiences that are pushing the boundary of visual content.
Cool. And can you talk a little bit about where this Blade Runner memory lab exists in the story of both of the movies?
So currently, as we know, the original Blade Runner with Harrison Ford, and then we have the new one, which is with Ryan Gosling. And the piece for Blade Runner was kind of written in a way where it took parts of elements from the original movie and also elements from the new movie. We got access to the script, and we then created a storyline which was approved by production to be in parallel, that bridges the content together, but it also stands alone as a separate experience and piece.
Very cool. And you mentioned you've worked in the past in film. Can you talk about how VR as a platform, as a medium, allows you to tell stories in a whole new way, and like the ways that you guys maybe figured out, hey, we couldn't do this before, but we can with VR?
Yes, absolutely. So in the past, when we were shooting a lot of different movies, especially with visual effects, a lot of movie goes through a process called pre-visualization. And this is where you block out and you lay out different things in order to get a sense of what the movie is. And what's happening with VR is that it's actually giving people the ability to get into the world of what you're creating, to then see the world in a different way, just as though you were scouting on a physical set. And that way you can find and go, well, this is a great shot right here that we never thought about, because now you can physically walk through the environment rather than just blocking it out from a camera perspective. Actually, Magnopus is actually in the process of shooting what's the first ever live 100% CG movie, but it's a live action shoot. So basically you're going into VR and shooting an entire movie in VR, which will be outputted to a final release, theatrical release in the theaters.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's pretty insane, and we're creating all these cinema tools, and this new type of realm is called virtual production. And virtual production traditionally was a way for directors to visualize what the movie might be in a digital context, but now it's evolving to the point where we just throw the movie makers into VR. We enable them with tools to shoot the movie like how they would traditionally shoot a movie, and then from there they could shoot the movie as though they did in a physical production.
Awesome. And so where can we find out more about your company and more about your games or experiences?
Unfortunately, we're pretty stealth and like skunk works. If you go to our website, which is www.magnopus.com, which is a combination of magnum opus, which stands for great work, you can go to our website and find more information about us. If not, you can go to our social media sites, our Twitter handle, Instagram, Facebook. Just look for Magnopus. And we're finally coming out of stealth mode after 4 years so that people could just learn about what we're doing for a lot of white label type of products. But the best way is on the web. Just like Google us and try to find us. Do it for Shacknews.